So here's a monstrosity that I created just for Halloween. He's not the most well built, so you know, if you guys decide to mimic me and you improve upon my design, power to you. I have learned a few things that I did wrong, not least of which was accounting for a center of gravity for this bad boy. But through much cajoling and jury rigging, we have managed to keep him upright, and he does still look relatively good. He's a pretty decent hit in the neighborhood, but I'll tell you how I did it, and if you guys find a better way, awesome. Or if you want to mimic me and deal with all the hardships that I've dealt with, you know, that works too. So we'll start with the materials that we use for this bad boy. Starting here with him actually broken down, because as all home haunters know, all of your gigantic props need to be able to break down in some kind of way for better storage. So that was my goal here. It's not the best. He probably could have broken down a little bit better, as you can see here, but it gives you an idea of what I was going for. I created his legs here, you see on this side. Then we have his arms and hands. Then we have the body, and then finally, his nice and spooky head. So what he is made of, I'll start here at the bottom and work my way up. I just made a base out of some wood here. You can use whatever size plank you want. These are, I believe, 2x6s. You know, the wider the better. Obviously, that's one of the places that I went wrong, so feel free to improve on this design. But then from there, it's just a 1-inch pipe going all the way up the length of his leg with a 40. Right here we have a 45-degree coupler that acts as his kneecap, and then goes up here to where we have another coupler that would go into his waist. And then I just went all over the edge of them with spray foam, which I then spray painted brown to give it a nice muddy look. As you can see here, he's a year or two old, so some of the yellow from the original color of the spray foam is kind of bleeding through, but I don't really mind. I think it gives him a really cool organic effect. But you know, use whatever colors that you want. Same thing here, slightly different setup on the other leg, where we have, there's where his hip bone, I guess you could say. This one goes at a different angle, but once again, I used a 45-degree one just to sort of give him an appearance like he's walking. Then again, that one connects down into a wooden plank down at the bottom, and there it is. That's where that is. Those connect over here to this, and I'll have another video of outside so you can see him once again in his full standing glory. But this is his waist all the way up to his chest and shoulders. And then there's his neck where they all connect. And we'll move over here. These are the actual arms. So this is where I got a little extra creative. Once again, I just used pipes and couplers for the shoulder joint and the elbow joint. And again, I used spray foam and spray paint to give it the muddy look that I wanted. But then for his actual hands, I used some wiring and duct tape to create this sort of claw-like thing, and then went over them again with some spray foam. Once again, just give them some long claws. I wasn't really interested in perfection like on this because I wanted it to look very sort of tree and swamp monster-like. So that's what we have here on both hands. They both do the same thing. And then to top the whole thing off is, of course, his head. And I had two goals with this in mind. I wanted it to light up, which it does. Here's his cord, very simple setup there. But I also wanted it to be able to spew out some fog and smoke if I wanted to. So the way that worked, take him up right here. You can see I cut a hole right there in the bottom. Now we'll go right back over here to his neck. That's where it goes in. And again, we have a pipe here. And so what I did was create a system. I blocked off all of these with whatever I could find. In this case, I had some fun noodles. I just jammed some stuff up in there. And essentially, I created a path that fog would have to follow. And so down here in his back is an entryway where you can connect a vacuum hose or whatever fits. I've yet to find anything that fit very well. More on that later. But when it works, it pumps the fog, which then rises up through his chest. And then with both of these blocked, both sides are, it has nowhere to go but up through here. And then of course, into the pumpkin. And then it comes out of his mouth, which creates a really cool effect. It's just a lot of work for me right now because I don't have the best pumping setup yet. Still mastering that particular part of the process. But even when he doesn't have fog at night, when he's lit up, it still looks really, really good, and it makes for a cool effect. So I think I've showed you how to put them together, so now I've told you guys how to put them together. So let's go back to seeing what he looks like when he is put together.